So I made this amazing sample using 3 chords in a major scale, 3 easy chords, and I really want to show y'all how I did it. Let's go. So this is a super easy chord progression in the major scale. So what I'm rocking with is this D flat major 7th chord. I'm sliding up to a E flat dominant 7th chord. And you already know that I'm on a 5th degree if I'm playing a dominant chord in the major scale. Now I'm sliding up to my 6th degree, which you know is a minor chord, which is this F minor chord. And that's basically my chord progressions. 3 chords, super duper easy, and very easy to play in the piano roll as well. You just gotta keep in mind that you're supposed to play a dominant chord as your 2nd chord using the 5th degree and not a minor chord, because you're not gonna get all of that rich tension that you need for R&B. Now I'm gonna play them arpeggiated because I like the sound of that just a little bit more. Ended it with a couple of double stops because I'm going to be playing around with those double stops just a little bit. Now I shouldn't have to stress how very important it is to process your shit. So my processing of my guitar always starts with just recording through Guitar Rig. These are the settings that I use. The next thing that I'm inclined to add is usually always compression or EQ. I usually tend to start with EQ, but sometimes compression goes first. Then after that, I like adding chorus, of course, add that real dope pop rock sheen. I add a sketch cassette for a little bit of a tape effect, giving a lot more warmth, of course. And then I added Cymatics Orange on top of that for some downsampling because I didn't want it to be so bright in my mix. After that, what I did, I created a bus for my reverb and my delay, of course. I sent it to my delay bus with spaced out on it, set all the way to wet, and I sent it to my reverb bus with a little plate on it, also all the way to wet. Let me turn these babies on right now. I did the exact same for my guitar licks, and that's why right now I got them sounding like this. So let's take a good look at what I'm using in Kontakt. I think for the first time in a while I'm actually using the Hybrid Keys library, but it's an amazingly good library for especially people that like incorporating lo-fi keys in their beats. So I'm using the Afterthought Snapshot. Well, it's basically a preset, but Kontakt likes to use the word snapshot for that. And I did very minimal processing on that. I did put some Cymatics Origin on it, and I did, of course, granulate the ever living hell out of that baby using Outputs Portal, of course. Just like that. And these are the settings that I use. Nothing too special. I set the density to a quarter note and the size to a 1.5 ratio as well. And that's basically it. So that adds to the sample that I got, getting it to sound like this at the moment. But you probably have heard that I also snuck in 2 chords that aren't in the chord progression, and that's actually this little sus4 chord, this G sus4 chord, this G7 sus4 chord, excuse my French, and this little G augmented 7 chord right here as passing notes towards the ending. So, you know, I could have just copy and paste the entire thing so that it just follows the guitar chord, but I had an opportunity to introduce something new in the keys, and I took it. So after that, y'all, it became a game of layering. I just opened another instance of Contact. I'm using Ghost in the Machine patch. I usually, when I use Glaze, it's this patch that I'm using, and that's because it reminds me of those sine wave patches, those sine pads that you hear like on Doves in the Wind by SZA and other older R&B productions. I really love it, and I just, if I can, I try and give it a place in my R&B beats. So that's that. I processed it using EQ, of course, using Shaper Box just to add a little bit of dynamics, movement. And I say movement a lot, but what I really mean is that basically you don't just have a static layer of chords, but there's something that makes it dynamic, and that's either through automation, through volume manipulation, through filter manipulation, or it adds a texture to that. So that's what I did, chorus, and then of course a little bit of stereo imaging because I like my pads wide. Now what I did, I also went into Omnisphere and I took out this little patch right here. I think it's the feathered descent Vox pad, which you can find under the Vox Humana type thingies. And what I like about, just listen to this pad. I think you'll really appreciate it the way I do. So what I think is super cool about this patch is that it has something angelic and ethereal about it, but you also distinctly hear some voices, and that's what I really like. It really adds something angelic to the beats. So this is my complete sample as of now. So my plan is to just finish this drum pattern. I got a super basic trappy drum pattern because I'm thinking of turning this into a dope Summer Walker type beat. So I just need the appropriate kick. Ooh, that one works. I just need an appropriate kick, which I'm gonna tune down in terms of volume because wow, I don't need that bussing the entire mix. Go to step sequencer, boom. And I might just play a little bit with the pattern, but after that I'm just gonna add some perks, add a vocal sample, and then I'm probably just gonna go for a Zay 808, and then I've basically got a beat. So I wasn't entirely happy with the pitch, so I pitched it up respectively everything 2 semitones, 1 whole tone, and now it sits comfortably at this. And I like it a lot better at this. So what I'm probably gonna do is just go for vocal sample and just complete the beat. But I'm gonna leave y'all with this. I hope y'all got to see that how easy it is to turn three simple R&B chords into a dope chord progression, and that your chord progressions absolutely do not have to be intricate for you to make a dope R&B beat. Sometimes you just need a simple idea, good execution, and the rest will come by itself. I mean, look at how intricate we made this beat with just 3 layers and this dope basic trappy drum beat. So beautiful, folks. I leave y'all with that. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day, of course, and I hope to see y'all in the next video. Peace.